What's up? What's up? Cup show.
That's hot. That's hot. How we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, 2 streams, 1 day, and today I'm with my co-host. Let's point. Which way are you?
We both.
Oh, wait, this way. Cubs fan Han Burgundy. How we doing?
Dude, we both have Stormtrooper shirts on.
Holy
right?
God, I just noticed that. Oh, we're
Look at this.
twinsies. We're
Okay,
twinsies today.
Everyone vote in the chat. Whose Stormtrooper shirt is better?
I gotta get my better view. Hold on. This
Yeah,
is mine.
I gotta give you a better view too.
This is mine.
Okay.
One person that
What
votes
is
for me
what
will be
is
getting for free an 8-star getaway vehicle.
It wasn't me. All right, here's mine. There we go.
I'm seeing a lot of Arnold. I'm seeing a lot of Arnold here.
Wait. It says pew pew.
Nah. It looks like Arnold's winning here. I don't know. Just saying, it's not like we're on my channel or anything, so obviously I'm gonna win here.
Bunch of biased punks.
Oh man, I got something in my throat.
All these people think they want Grievous to be good, but
I don't know, man. I'm feeling that mesothelioma kicking. Getting that Grievous syndrome, Cubby? You feeling a little worried here? How's the Jedi going? How's the Jedi? I think everyone else is coughing in the chat room. We got Grievous syndrome going on here. My goodness, Cubs. Cubs fan Honey Boy.
Oh, man.
Is this going to be the last stream where I complain about Grievous? And will this be one of the last streams where the Jedi are king? We're going to weigh in on a lot. It's a tough conversation. You got people that love it or hate the thought of the Jedi going down. But I think we got a fairly well-balanced panel. You got the person over here on the, I think that's your guys' right, a left. I don't know. That's a Revan owner, Jedi lover. And then over here, you got the Jedi hater. I don't hate Jedi, but I want to see him slayed right now. So we got a nice balanced panel to talk about this very difficult question. But we have to work our way up there. We got to work from the bottom, work to the top. We got to start the B1 battle droid. Because basically, you were gone on vacation, right? For the past week. So I know you posted a video today that's talking about your thoughts. I'm going to make you talk about your thoughts here, okay?
Everyone migrate over to watch my video. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a link in the top right-hand corner. So why don't you start start talking about what are your thoughts coming back from the week-long break in Disney. Hopefully Disney was great to you. You got to see all the cool stuff. If you want to see what he's done, go on Twitter. He posted a lot of stuff on there. How about this? Real quick, before we get going, what was your favorite thing at Disney? Let's get people hyped.
Well, you asked me like probably 30 questions. There.
I know, yeah. We're gonna start.
Let's
Let's redo. What was your favorite thing at Disney?
Disney. You know what, man? I'm a huge Disney fan. I love everything Disney, and I have to say. So I went to Disney World, not Disneyland, and I have to say, the big Star Wars fan in me. Every single time I come back from Disney, Star Wars is my favorite. And the Star Wars fireworks show might have been my favorite at Hollywood Studios if I hadn't have gone to Animal Kingdom and ridden the Flight of Passage Avatar ride.
It's a cool
ride. If anybody doesn't know what that ride is, it is quite literally the most insane ride I've ever been on. It blew me away. It was so... Okay, I'll put it in perspective. I'm not a crier. I'm not an Avatar fan. And I was like holding back tears at the end of this ride because of how good it was. So that was my favorite part of the trip.
Yeah, I went on that last year. Just waiting in the line, getting to the ride, that was so cool. Definitely the most immersive like line waiting thing. Like you don't even
even the line was cool, right?
Yeah,
there's a full size Na'vi in a test tube or whatever.
Yeah, right. It was definitely cool, and I'm really looking forward to their giant Star Wars resort that they're building. Yeah. It's almost done, I believe. I don't know when it's finally opening.
It looks pretty close. I got a lot of good views of it driving around, and you can see like these, the spires raising up and everything. And so a lot of the rumors are that in Disneyland it should be they're doing a special right now. I know a lot about this because I'm looking at taking my girls to Disneyland soon because they're giving away cheap tickets right now for Disneyland. Cheap is relative. $70 for 3 days. That's cheap for Disney. $70 a day. And that special ends on May 23rd. And they say that it's coming in June. And so a lot of people think that they're doing that special because a lot of people are waiting to go to Disneyland until they know when the Star Wars land is opening.
Yeah.
So a lot of speculation is that they're running that special to try to pull people there before they pop the land in early June. And so I think that's probably going to be June. So look, if the Avatar ride is a precursor for what we have to look forward to for Star Wars, I'm going to want to rush right over there to ride whatever 10-hour wait I have to go through to ride the Millennium
It's
Falcon,
going to be
right?
crazy. I don't know when I'm going to go, but for sure I got to go sometime the next year whenever it does open.
Let's go together.
Let's go together. Let's hold hands. We'll share a room, okay? Share a bed. You know, your lady can stay in her own room.
Yeah. Hey, no homo. I'll hold your hand all the way into the park.
There we go. Anyways, moving on. Let's start talking about what you missed the past week. Basically, you didn't miss too much. You just basically missed the B2 rework and the B1 battle droid.
One of the coolest new characters.
Yes, right?
I love this kit. This kit is amazing. It is literally, how could you possibly draw B1 battle droid better? Nothing won't kill it. Nothing. You could put in a Gear 1 cup that would kill it.
Yeah, right? They did a great job trying to make you feel like you're running a Separatist droid army. By the way, I love how we have Grievous syndrome in the chat. Lots of coughing going on. But yeah, the B1 battle droid.
Get a freaking Kleenex and some Tylenol.
So yeah, the B1 battle droid's it's definitely one of the most interesting, most well thought out characters I think we've had in a very, very, very long time. And I mean, obviously you can't fit 100 units on the screen to make you feel like you're running a droid army, but they do a pretty good job with the animations to make you feel like you're living the fantasy. And I have a lot of speculation towards this. You know, they're kind of slowly releasing this stuff over the course of the next month, which makes me think that they're just giving Revan owners their little brief window of happiness before Grievous comes into the game. Yeah, because right now the B1's coming out in 2 days, and we can't. Do you see any way of using this outside of the future General Grievous rework? Because you can't even score critical hits with this guy, so that won't work with HK-47.
It's a precursor.
It's a precursor.
And you know, this is the stamp of every single faction pass we've ever seen, right? You've got a character that's reworked, and the rework looks amazing, but you're just not going to be able to take full advantage of it without the new marquee characters. And so whatever Grievous does, I think it's going to have some pretty close synergy with Droideka and with B1, probably B2. We got some attention there. I could see that combo of characters being pretty vital to the meta.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to this guy. I mean, I want your take on this. Mobile Gamer and I tried to decipher this mystery. Do you think there's a reason to whale out this character to 7 stars? Because right now, the only thing I can think of is that you're probably going to get more damage, perhaps, and you'll get access to the raids and those higher tier things in territory battles. Do you think that's all there is? Do you think there's more? And if there's not any more, do you think it's even worth getting this character to 7 stars? I want to get your opinion on that.
So I'm going to take a dissenting opinion here. I think this might be one of the more appealing characters to whale out.
Really? Explain, please.
Because a lot of why you don't have to take a character to 7 stars is you can gear them up, you can put protection mods on them, and they're going to be plenty usable. But the main thing that you are lacking when you do that is DPS, right? Because taking them to 7 stars tends to have a bit of a damage boost. And so what I am thinking here is the main appeal to having B1 is going to be his DPS. And you're going to want to have it in a good place, or he's just going to be I mean, what would be threatening about him? Give me one thing that's threatening about him if he doesn't hit hard. And so I'm guessing that without the stars there, he's just not going to hit hard enough. Now, that's speculation, but if that's the case, then there's absolutely going to be incentive to do it, because if you are going against, you know, Separatists and you leave B1 for last and you have no care in the world on how hard he's hitting you, then it doesn't matter that he's there.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to think the same thing, too. Oh, by the way, thanks, John Krupa. I always see this comment about this. He loves the Wookiee video I did. He says that it deserves an Academy Award. I think he's referring to the Chewbacca video. Definitely one of my favorite, most stressful videos I've ever made in this game.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, that was horrible. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe his damage output is just so crazy high at 7 stars versus the 3 stars and eventually 4 stars if you buy that $20 pack. That's very controversial right now. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
That pack. Yeah, I don't like that pack.
I don't know how far are you with the Separatists? Are your Separatists pretty well geared out to, like...
Yeah, so you'd be proud of me.
Really?
You'd be proud of me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm not wailing by any means. I'm saving. I really believe that Darth Revan is coming or something with those KOTOR characters. So I'm not like dumping crystals. I've still got I've got 30,000 crystals I've been sitting on for a while. I'm letting that stick until that comes, and I'm spending, you know, a lot of refreshes on Bastila, Kandris, and hopefully Karth and Juhani soon. But my Grievous is at gear 10 now. He was at like gear 7, so I've got him at gear 10, and I'm pretty close to gear 11. And I've got my B2 and my favorites as well. I'm kind of holding on the rest until I see. I think those. I'm really confident those two are going to be solid. Really confident. Past that, I'm just not sure, and so I'm going to kind of wait until we see what the meta is. But yeah, I mean, if you look at my favorites, they are right at the top of my favorites right now.
I'm proud of you, man.
You'd be proud of
jumping
me.
on the Separatist
I don't have no cold. I don't have a cold.
no coughing going on here.
I'm healthy. But I do think that they're going to be pretty solid. My suspicion is that they'll probably have, you know, a pretty good splash in the arena, and then I think that something's going to usher them out. But even if that happens, I think that they're probably going to be fantastic to have for territory wars.
I'm thinking the same. Grand Arena, maybe. I'm thinking at the worst case scenario, let's just say worst case scenario, they don't become meta, which I'm slowly, ever so slowly, I'm thinking they will become some sort of meta. However long, we'll talk about that in a moment. I think at the very minimum, they'll be a really powerful Grand Arena team that you probably got to be careful of. Just from starting to see some of the stuff that's with these kits and trying to put together this bigger picture. I mean, I'm much farther along the Separatist route. That's mostly because I've been sitting on these guys for months at gear 12. Yeah, so I mean, it's finally coming true. And we will talk about the panic farm. It's sort of, we're not really panicking yet because we don't know what these the KOTOR characters are needed for, but that's going to kind of tie it into our later conversation here. The next thing I want to bring up, since B1 we kind of beat the garbage out of it, and by the way, someone did correct me, the $20 pack isn't happening for B1. It's starting with Droideka, so B1's the last marquee character for now. They'll have the $10 pack. So I guess if you want to show Capital Games which packs you approve, buy the $10, not the $20. I mean, they make decisions based off money. Out of that, so if you guys don't like the $20 pack, that's how you communicate what you like and what you don't like. This is kind of
more than anything. I mean, I'm kind of more in a whale mindset now. Not whale, but when
Revan broke you, man. He broke you.
No, Revan. I'm not gonna lie. Revan broke me. I've spent a lot more money than I've ever spent since then. But you know, I mean, I like to give back to the game, and I think it was just anyway. When I buy crystals, I don't want to buy the $10 pack. Because that's like one of the least values you got for crystals. And so that's why I'm kind of like, look, if you're going to force me to pay for crystals, let me buy the value that I want, you know?
So, exactly.
That's just me.
I'm definitely kind of in the same boat right there. I'm not a big fan of it. It's just, it's them trying to force upon you buying a pack you don't, or buying a crystal pack you don't really want. Because it doesn't really cost them anything extra. It's a fake currency. They just change the code up a little bit and they add crystals. So it's not like that increase in price is because the product got more expensive to make or something. It's just probably them experimenting, trying to figure out how they can make more money off the pack, and this is what they're going to do. And obviously, as they said in their post kind of talking about it, it's always they always can change in the future. So if you don't like it, let them know with what you spend, what you don't spend. And I think the B1 sales versus Droideka sales might be a good indicator of how many packs those are going to sell. I don't know. Not telling you guys to rebel or anything, just telling you what's a good way to convey your opinion to them. Moving on from that, B2 Super Battle Droid. Now, it's funny, not too much change in his all-around viability, except just the huge increase in buff immunity chance, which I've been loving. Have you really found any love for him, or do you see him being important for the bigger picture for the Separatists? Any thoughts on that? I've been using this guy a lot ever since his rework. I found use out of him. But what about you? What are you thinking of him?
Well, I mean, one of the stamps of what's going to be usable is turn meter gain.
Yeah.
You know, and the rework, the Zeta ability. I mean, I
already got it Zetaed, man.
I'm sitting on 52 Zetas. I'm tempted to give it to him.
I have 100 Zetas. I had 120. I slapped the Zeta on. I was probably the first person to Zeta this character. Not even gonna lie.
5% turn meter for every debuff that he inflicts. He inflicts debuffs. That's all he does.
Yeah, it's all.
And so to me, I think this is gonna have some pretty intense synergy with Grievous and the Separatists when they're good. Right now, the Separatists just aren't that good. So that turn meter gain. It's whatever.
This unique ability is completely useless. It doesn't do anything right now because there's not a single Separatist being used. So I've been using
But when these Separatists get good, when Grievous starts hitting hard, or when whatever rework he has coming, when Droideka is, you know, an amazing tank or a super evadable character, whatever they're going to do with him, I think this is going to be dope.
Yeah, I see Robert, he says he's on 255 Zetas, 340 Omegas. He's ready to drop it on the Separatists. He's definitely a lot more prepared than I am. I still have 100 left over, so I have plenty of room for the new guys coming in. But yeah, this right here, I'm using him all the time right now with my trade team. I'm finding a lot of, like, I'm starting to see his all-around viability come back because just the increase in buff immunity chance helps out a lot. It increased by 15% or 20%, something of that sort. And, like, there's times where Revan goes first. As you know, a perfectly modded Revan team has to go first before Traya. And then B2 gets ticked off. And I have times, like, I did a stream today. I showed people in Arena. I got buff immunity out before Yoda was able to spread his buffs around. So I stopped 3 Jedi at the beginning from getting buffs, and that right there is huge at the beginning.
That's a big tide swinger right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing how this is going to work with Separatists, where every single time a Separatist ally is being hit, he might use this ability like 5 times in a row. You know, AoE and ability, you know, hits 5 people. That could reduce.
I think right there is probably the beginning of what is going to kill Revan with the Separatists. It's a taste, a little teaser for all you sneezers out there.
So I think this unique ability right here is just seeing where he is right now. It's only going to get better. I did a video just kind of showing a crappy Separatist team against like a mediocre Jedi team, just to show the concept of how it's working right now. And in that video, you see B2 just keep landing buff immunity like non-stop. And keep in mind, when he's landing those debuffs, he's also getting buff immunity and then feeding turn meter to the team. So there's just right there, I'm seeing that the Separatist team might not be much of a joke. And also, we got to give credit to Capital Games. The last year reworks have been very creative, and they find a use somewhere. We're kind of past the days where a rework is complete garbage and there's like no place for them. Way back when that used to be the case, like we had like mini reworks here and there used to be like 2 Windu reworks at one point, and none of them ever stuck. So we're kind of past those days when Capital Games goes in now for a rework, they go all out and they make it something really important. So I think these Separatists aren't going to be a joke. And just looking at B2, I'm seeing that's the case. Thank you, King Valdris, $2.99. Love watching you both. Need advice on streaming. Streaming, man. Good internet, decent mic, mediocre camera. That's really it. And then OBS. OBS is your best friend. It's free software. Those are your tips right there. Hopefully you got those fast enough. So very excited for this. And now we're going to start branching out this conversation a bit. So far,
let's branch.
Yeah, Cubs is obviously pretty impressed to an extent. He, you know, he's liking what he's seeing, the B1 battle droid. See, I'm speaking on your behalf because people already know where I stand. I want to get the Jedi Revan perspective because you're a diehard Jedi Revan owner. And I know we had that big debate last time about me just stalling. Like, look at my Revan. Let me find my Revan real quick.
I don't want to look at your Revan.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. This is me saying I'm waiting for Grievous to drop. I have the gear to. I can max out Jedi right now if I want to. I have like 800 Carbantes or something. Where is it? Look, oh, that's not it. Where's my where's the Carbantes? Yeah, I have 800 Carbante seeds, and but I promise you, Cubs, right after General Grievous gets his rework and all the droidekas come in, I gear him up. Revan's the next immediate thing on the list. I'm not stalling this forever. I just want to make sure I have the Zeta because I don't want to dump all my Zetas right now on Revan because we're going to need at least several
I don't
Zetas.
blame you for that.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that. Something's coming. I still think you got to have him though. But
oh yeah, for sure. I'm never going to tell people don't hear him
leader.
Yeah,
just give him his leader.
Yeah. Nah, I can't. Not right now. Not right now.
You've clarified. You clarified though. This is probably not the most logical route.
Oh, it's not. So by far not.
Out there,
no,
we're not recommending. I am definitely not recommending that you stall the best character in this game on his farm.
I see people asking for some of my Carbantes. I've been hoarding Carbantes. I've been hoarding everything since probably like the first or second week of January. Because I actually didn't have Han Solo the Gear 12 until like mid-January or something. So I haven't spent a single Carbante, except for the first few Revan tiers. So I'm sitting on like 500 stun cuffs, 800 Carbantes, 350 stun guns. We actually have the kits, not the kit, the gear requirements for B1. I'll pull those up while we talk here.
Right.
We were going to start branching our conversation. Now, we'll get to Knights of the Old Republic again in a second here. So what was I going to get at? So with the Separatists. What were you going to say? No, you go first. You had a thought. Let's go with your thought.
Well, I was just gonna say something I would say about hoarding is I'm kind of doing the reverse of you, actually.
Yeah.
I'm giving the gear to the well, you've already got the Separatists, but I'm giving the gear out to those characters. What I'm most concerned about is having the crystals at the ready so that I can get the shards. Because here's the way I look at it, and quick call out to always DTF.
Yeah, he's on my stream earlier today. He's a funny guy. He's talked about his Palpatine. He was able to beat Revan without Traya. I've seen Palp with Traya beat Emperor Revan.
Yeah,
it's not 100% consistent, but I've seen it work. I've tested it out before. Without Traya, I'm a bit more skeptical that you're. Okay. I mean, it might be a bad, poorly modded Revan team. What do you think? I can't imagine beating Revan with a Sith team without Traya. Agree? Disagree?
I would want to see the footage and the mods.
Yeah,
I would be skeptical.
Yeah, it's a little skeptical.
So
I mean, I know
anyway,
Traya gets blown away, but yeah, keep going.
What I'm getting at here is, say the Grievous rework drops and it's great, and then after that, as we suspect, and I think you're with me on this. I think these 4 KOTOR marquee characters, we're gonna have a panic farm, for something. So say we're right on that. Grievous is going nowhere. You can get him, but whatever that panic farm is, that's going to come and go. You've only got one shot at that, and so my personal view is, I'm going to give the gear to the Separatists. I'm okay with spending that gear, but having those crystals at the ready for the shards is more important to me, because I only get one crack at that. And once that's gone, it's gone. And so that's where I feel like the panic, or at least the resources, are most valuably spent right now. That said, I mean, it is, I have to disclaim 1,000 times, it is a hunch, but I mean, you and me, we've been covering this game for a while now. Do you think our hunch is on point?
I think it's definitely there's a hunch to it all. By the way, can I just I have to go back a little bit. I'm showing the Separatist trailer. My gosh, this the new Grievous. When you saw this trailer for the first time, the Grievous animation change, did you have any like? Are you actually a human? Did you feel any emotion when you saw this happen?
Am I actually a human?
I'm not gonna lie. I like swore. I was like, holy, and I was like, I'm gonna probably freak out more than others.
So I'll put it this way. When I look at Star Wars characters, you know, the reaction you give Grievous is kind of the reaction I would give, like, you know, midriff Padme.
Rose.
And you know, so... Touche. No, midriff Padme. You know, so I'm not like that with Grievous. You know, I don't have, you know, I'm not like Lando here. I don't have intimate feelings for droids, even part droid. And so when I saw it, I went, "Oh, that's cool. That's nice."
As you're sipping your tea, watching the Grievous footage. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. That's very nice.
Yeah. I was like Borat, you know. It's very nice. How much?
How much? I thought it was kind of cool. So. That's
a dope animation. That's a dope animation. I dig it.
Okay. I will be a little picky. Maybe he wears the cape at the beginning of battle and throws it off before he enters. I don't know. I really wish they gave him a cape or Magna Guard a cape. I'm hoping they change his animation a little bit. Didn't look like they changed his stance animation. I'm being picky here. I'm being a little picky. I wish it was a bit more scary. Like, you know, hopefully when we go to the character screen, because right now he looks like a mesothelioma patient. Like always coughing. He looks a bit weak. He doesn't look scary.
Well, didn't they already changed his appearance in there a bit? They made him a bit bigger, right?
Oh yeah, he's a big boy now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do with him. But yeah, because right now we know pretty much next to nothing about this character. Right. So I don't know. It's kind of weird where we are right now. I thought, you know, the Palpatine, we got the rework first, and then later on we got these marquee characters. They're kind of doing this in reverse order, which makes me think. Do you get any hunch? You think there's a strategy or reason behind it, or you think it's more of like they're still finalizing things, or they're doing it to give Revan owners their space, that the ones who just, because it would suck if you got Revan and then next day they released the General Grievous rework and then your Revan lost any viability in Arena, let's say. You think that's the reason behind it, or do you think there was just some, you know, more of a preparation issue going on here?
It's interesting that you bring that point up, because I haven't thought about it that way, that you've got Palpatine reworked, and then you got Scion joining the cast.
Yeah.
And now we've got B1 and Droideka joining, and, well, Droideka and Grievous drop at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what their logic is behind that.
I'm really looking into it because, like, I've been debating about this with Mobile Gamer quite a lot. We're like, would they really make Grievous meta? Like, it's hard to believe a little bit, but I see it is the perfect time to kind of release it. Revan, let's see if he officially passed the 80% threshold here. But I can't really recall a meta where someone. Oh wow, 81%, ladies and gentlemen. That's your meta report right
81%.
here. 81%. Where Revan owns it.
Potent.
That's high. I can make guesses. Maybe Palpatine got close with Scion when Scion came in. But there were still counters to Palpatine. There was still Rex and all this other stuff back then that was countering Palpatine. Right now, very far and in between. And Revan's the best thing in offense and defense right now. Palpatine, is very dominant offensively, but there's ways to beat him a little easier than Revan right now. This seems like the prime opportunity to mix things up. I can't imagine him going another month or two, letting this guy run rampant. So let's start digging into the big question. Do you think Grievous will become meta? When you look at this pie, we start looking at how these two new or the rework and the new B1, they have these interesting things that kind of fit some mystical bigger picture. What's your verdict coming from a Jedi Revan owner? Do you think that I'm an owner too, but you love him? What's your perspective?
Well, hey, hold on. Let me backtrack just a little bit here. I want to clarify one thing. I should have disclaimed a long time ago when I made a big deal about how much I wanted the Jedi meta. I wasn't necessarily hot on an Old Republic Jedi meta. When I picture Jedi,
I get you.
I'm picturing prequels Jedi. That's the kind of meta I feel like we deserve with Mace Windu in the meta, with Yoda. Yoda's really satisfying with, that kind of, so anyway, so as far as like Revan, I'm not like this super, fanboy of Revan or the Old Republic. Now that said, I'm not going to be picky because I did get a Jedi meta, and so I'm happy about it.
But I'm also not. This year.
I hope so.
I
don't think. It's because Cubs doesn't know anything about the EU, Captain Obvious says. Nobody knows anything about the EU compared to some of you guys. Like, I played all of the games when I was 12. I'm sorry that I don't remember everything. I was not taking notes.
You're sidetracking Cubs, Mr. Audience Member.
I got triggered!
I've been trying to pick up KOTOR. It's so hard to get through the beginning, and I don't have time to finish it. I'm going to slowly play that game, just so I can understand the Revan hype a little bit better. I know it's a great game from what people say. Anyways.
Yeah, I remember. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is if the Revan meta is destroyed, I'm not going to be crying about it. I'm really not. I will be, what I will be bummed for is all of those people who prepared for Revan, and they finally get him, and then a month later, boom, new pay-to-play wall, screw you guys. That would make me, I would be miffed for those guys, not as much for me personally. But I think something else that needs to be said, and I think a common fallacy in this community that we constantly make is that it's all about arena. It is not all about arena in this game anymore. You've got so many more game modes, especially Grand Arena now, and you've got Territory Wars. And I mean, obviously we want, for those Grievous fans out there, you want to be the best team.
Right.
But what if you're not technically speaking the best, but you're still one of the absolute best teams you could possibly use in Grand Arena? I think that's still valuable. But that said, if I'm going to make a prediction, I do think he's going to be meta. And the reason why is
hear that, ladies and
gents? And I'll tell you why. It's because of a lore perspective, because we have a Jedi meta right now. We literally have a Jedi meta. And what is Grievous literally known for?
Killing Jedi.
He literally steals their lightsabers after slaying them.
Yeah, I'm showing pictures of him right now. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I think they're going to integrate. They're going to work with his max health capabilities that he has, because he right now, he's the third largest max health character before you include mods and unique abilities. Once you take in the unique ability, he's the highest health character in the game. So they're definitely gonna probably work that in somehow in the kit, and I'll imagine they're gonna increase his like max health based on droids he's with, obviously like he is now, and maybe the however many Jedi are on the other side of the field, that might increase his damage or speed or juice up his stats. So I think they know what they're doing. I think they know they're gonna do a good job with this character because I mean. Episode 3 didn't really do Grievous justice, but if you look at all the other stuff like comics and other TV shows and even the Clone Wars TV show, you definitely see more of a brutal Grievous versus this awkward thing.
The movies don't do him justice.
The movies did zero justice for him. Yeah. But the TV shows, they do an amazing job showing how Grievous was a scary dude. He was a Jedi killer. Definitely a scary force to deal with. So I obviously I want to think Grievous will become the next meta. And I just think it's just timing-wise, it seems to be the right time. Revan's been running this show since August. What is that? 3, 4, 5 months almost now. That's a long meta, and 81%. That's huge, huge. And I got to go back to your point a little bit about arena's not everything. I get what you're getting at. I don't know if I 100% agree because that is besides fleets, the most important way to get crystals, 500 crystals a day. And besides just that, it's kind of like you're voting for your favorite person to become president or something, and it's a good feeling to know that your guy that you love is number one in the game.
That's a good analogy.
That's the best way I can put it. Star Wars Inc., by the way, thank you for the €5. Hello there. I can't wait to fight Grievous teams with my Kenobi. I want to talk about Kenobi actually too in a second. Thanks for the donation. Yeah. And then the other thing, I had one more point. Oh yeah, if you are going to be arena meta, that's important for how long you'll be useful in the game. If you're number one in arena, that spells long-term viability for the other trickle-down events, territory wars, grand arena, and then, of course, like people are saying, even if Revan does fall out of favor in arena, he's still one of the most important characters for territory wars, grand arena, and then also the raids and whatnot. But like the bounty hunters, I don't know if I'd be 100% disappointed. You know what? I will be 100% disappointed if Separatists turn out to be another bounty hunter faction because they weren't arena viable. So that means their trickle-down effect wasn't as potent or wasn't as powerful, wasn't as everlasting. They have their uses in territories and grand arena, good team for defense. But other than that, their impact wasn't as everlasting. And maybe that's fine for bounty hunters. Sorry,
I got a prediction. I got a prediction to
right.
make, but you call out your donators first.
Yeah, we got Regina Alston. Thanks for the $5. Should UG not be geared as part of a droid counter? I'll just say this: anyone that says droid counter in this game is not a droid counter. Is that a fair assessment? I mean, I remember when droids were the meta at one point. Eth Koth and was not a droid counter, even though he's supposed to be the anti-droid Jedi.
That droid meta was annoying too.
Oh
the
yeah,
the Jawa and
lesser. Yeah. Poggle, then you had the IG-80, IG-86, and then Jawa Engineer. Whew, that was a time to be alive. And then Qui-Gon Jinn was the other one.
That's like 2015.
Oh yeah, 2015,
early 2016.
Yeah. I remember those days quite well. And Starlos, thank you for the $1.99. GG is my favorite character, and I geared him up for you. My brother. That's what I want to hear.
Man.
I actually saw a lot of comments. People
have a meme of Denzel Washington coming and going, my man. Yeah, so I'm seeing some comments. People are purposely holding off on their new Revan just to see if Grievous is going to be the next big thing. You said you had a thought you wanted to share before we talked about those donators there. Well, I have a new thought about these people not gearing. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm gonna bypass. I'm not gonna say.
There's logic, and then there's I love this character. I'm gonna forget all logic. General Grievous is my third Gear 12 character. That shows my logic. Obviously, there's logic, and then there's I don't care. I love this character. I want to gear him up just for it's my trophy. It's gonna click dust.
That.
Yes, I think that's. Yeah,
I respect playing this game how you have fun.
Yeah, that's
Play this game how you have fun.
That's right. Anyways, share your thought real quick that you had.
So here's what I think we're going to see here, because I don't think it makes sense to have Revan become meaningless, but I also don't think it makes sense for Grievous to come in here and not be a great counter to Revan at a minimum. Maybe he won't be meta, but if he's not at least a super viable counter to Revan, it makes no sense to me. Like, what's the point of all of this? Yeah. So what I think we're going to see is it will be Revan versus General Grievous in the meta. It'll be a pretty good split. You're going to have people running both, and Grievous might even have an upper hand on that. Then we've got these KOTOR characters that we're going to have a panic farm for.
Yes, we got to talk
I
about
think
that
it's
soon.
going to be Darth Revan coming up. And then I could see a rock, paper, scissors meta where Darth Revan or Malik or whoever is going to be the dark side, solid counter to the Separatists. The Separatists counter the OG Jedi meta. And then you've got kind of the triangle there in the meta. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. And what I am interested in, I mean, if we do get that, if these, I mean, maybe we're off base here, and maybe they're not going to use these characters for something. I really think they will.
Yeah.
So let's say they do. They're not going to want to do all this Separatist stuff and then just toss it in the trash overnight either.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so what I'd really like to see is that all three teams have viability, or at least two.
You know, this game has really made an interesting turn. Originally, you know, you could probably chime in on this, Cubs. When the game first came out, there wasn't really team synergy. It was like all these mishmash of characters, you know.
Oh, totally. Rex was the camp.
B2 and all these other oddball people that were just not really related to one another. Ever since I want to
Ray
say
and everything.
Ever since I want to say maybe Phoenix going on, the developers have made a really big stride on making faction-based synergy. We saw Phoenix and Empire with Thrawn, and then Commander Luke Skywalker with Rebels, and then Mother Talzin of Knights, and then Jedi Training Grey with the Resistance. So ever since then, they've kind of spun this new direction where we're not just going to have random characters like Sunfac, Wedge, Rex, and all these other weird characters together. They're trying to push towards something. And I think I said this last time way back when on our show, is that the devs at one point, I don't know if publicly in a Q&A or with us, I don't know. I mean, it's old news at this point for me, is that their end goal is to make Arena diverse. And, like, if you love a faction, you can use that faction to be somewhat competitive in the Arena space. So I don't know if that policy is still upheld. I feel like I've heard about that a year ago or so. So I think, yeah, at the minimum, I would think Grievous would at least share a meta of some sort. And I want to, you know, you're talking about Knights of the Old Republic. And what's your prediction on Revan Malik? Is it coming next month? Because I don't think it's happening in February. The schedule for February is all Separatist related. And we got the Road Ahead blog post. Let me pull it up right now. And if you recall, the Road Ahead blog post has zero about KOTOR. Now, of course, they could leave things out. Like we didn't hear about Jango. We didn't hear about Chewbacca in the July Road Ahead blog post. But they still happen. So there's a good chance that they could still happen this quarter. But it seems like they're mostly were talking a lot about Clone Wars content because they go on saying that for the past 2 years, they've really kind of milked the original trilogy, Knights of the Old Republic. And now they've kind of addressed it. You know, Clone Wars has been lacking. They've been lacking. What if Revan doesn't come out anytime soon? What if it doesn't happen next month? I mean, it's weird because we're all kind of rushing to farm for these new dark side characters. But do you think that the Revan thing or Malik thing will happen in the next few months, or do you think it could be until next year or end of the year? But maybe this whole year could be Clone Wars.
Here's how I look at it, and shout out to James Freeman. Thanks for the $2 donation to Arnold.
Shout out to the House of Jade.
So here's the way I look at this. We had 4 random KOTOR characters come to us.
Yes.
And the last time we had that, they were used for Jedi Revan. And so to me, if I'm looking at the current timeline based on the road ahead, if it weren't for those characters, I'd say, you know, maybe Revan isn't going to come until the end of the year.
Yeah.
But those characters have a shelf life on how far they can push that panic farm. If they're going to wait, if they're going to, you know, because Karth and Juhani are going to go farmable anytime now, right?
Yeah, I would
pretty
think
close
this
to
week,
that.
next week. Yeah, latest.
Exactly. And so if they go farmable and they wait 2-3 months even, then anyone with half a brain will have those characters at 7 stars and they'll walk in free to play. And that's just not the model for these characters.
I mean, there's the counter argument.
Unless they're going to...
The counter argument would be bounty hunters. You know, I mean, granted, most of the factions free to play, and the Chewbacca event was kind of just use whatever characters you want. But, you know, they released, you know, a couple pay to play bounty hunters last year, like Bosk and whatnot. That was like way early March, April. I can't remember, maybe even before that. And we didn't see anything needed for them until later on. I mean, even a more extreme example, Ewoks. You get all these new pay-to-play Ewoks, and it took almost a year and a half later. So I definitely agree with you. I think they're pushing for something soon, but just seeing their Road Ahead blog post, I feel like if it was a big Knights of the Old Republic character, they would want to like let you guys know in this 3-month period, because that Road Ahead blog post goes until the end of March. And I would think they'd want to let you know, like the last Road Ahead blog post really capitalized on Revan and coming to the game.
But I could also see, I'm glad you mentioned Chewbacca, because what was Chewbacca to Revan?
Yeah,
I mean, smoke screen.
A smoke screen.
He got everyone farming in a certain direction, and then boom, Jedi Revan, and everyone had resources depleted. Grievous could very much be the same thing, and that could very much be why he is, you know, the dark side KOTOR, whatever, is committed from this. Now, something else. So I think we can probably both agree that at some point these 4 characters are very likely to be used for legendary heroes journey. Okay, so if you look at what these characters are and how useful they are, how useful is Bastila Shan Fallen? You've got her at gear 11 right now.
I got her at gear 11 first week she came into the game.
How useful is Karth? Super useful. Okay, maybe Canderous is an oddball in that discussion. Maybe
maybe he might be like Jolie, where he's not that impressive. Then once you release some new character, like holy crap, I need this guy on my team. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Right.
But
so those 2 aren't quite there, but you've got 2 characters in there that I have every incentive in the world to take to gear 12 right now. And so where are they going to create the panic? I could see if they're going to wait. Say they're going to wait and they're going to do the Ewok or the Bounty Hunter model, where you guys probably have these characters ready, but you're going to have to gear them like all the way up, and you're gonna have to put Zetas on them. And I could maybe buy that being the case if there weren't 2 characters in here that I already want at gear 12 like yesterday.
Yeah.
And so what's the other way to do that is to create the Shard farm. Right. The Shard panic.
You know, I got a couple more thoughts on that because this is important, because the one question people are having is that, okay, they let Grievous, they let him kill these Jedi to oblivion, then what, does Malik or Revan just come in 2 weeks later? There's a lot of question up in the air, and I think we're kind of maybe bringing some doubt that it might happen a little soon. But real quick before I keep going on here, always DTF, thanks again for showing up, $5. My guild is so awesome that we still can't get Trey. Oh, man. But we are the too lit to quit, too. Shout out to your boys. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it sucks not having Trey. She's definitely one of the jewels of the game that takes a while to get. And then Ethan Glenn is asking for any farming suggestions. He has CLS, Palp, and Thrawn. If you have a 1.5 mil GP, would you have access to Revan characters by now? Hard to say. If you can access the pay to not pay to play. If you can access the Jedi Knight Revan characters, farm that right now. Yeah. And get Jedi Knight Revan. He would help. He would juice you up in so many areas. Moving on though here. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, with these characters right here. What I'm wondering is, would we really let Knights of the Old Republic change the meta for the 5th time within a year span if, let's say, they release Revan or Malik next month? Because last year we had Traya. She changed the meta. Bastila started forcing Palpatine out of the meta. Jedi Knight Revan came in and pushed both Palpatine and Bastila out of the meta. I mean, then Bastila just kind of went under his wing then. Would they really let... for the 4th time in a year, let another Knights of the Old Republic become meta? I get that there's people that love it, but would they really let that happen?
We've said this on the show before, but we did this to ourselves.
Yeah, we did.
we begged for so long for KOTOR, and the devs were like, no. And then all of a sudden, they just vomited all over us. KOTOR everywhere.
KOTOR everywhere. So that's one thing that makes me want to believe that Grievous would have a little bit longer of a meta, maybe like Palpatine length meta, where it lasted till June or July when Bastila came out. That's what it makes me kind of want to believe, but it's just we're so up in the air about where the heck is this Old Republic farm going right now. And then plus they kind of hinted in this Road Ahead blog post about HK47. You know what I'm referring to, right? In the Road Ahead blog post.
The meat bags. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up too, that is in the Road Ahead our link to KOTOR.
Yeah, so, but the quote is, you hear that, meatbags, I will be back. So, does that mean that something's happening this quarter? Because I think HK47 is going to get a rework at some point. We're kind of almost there, and I think if there is a Revan event for Darth Revan, HK is 100% needed. So it's just a matter of would it happen this quarter and end of March, or are they kind of hinting, you know what, I'll be back next quarter? Because
the quarter is they actually, I don't think they can hint at stuff in the next quarter. for legal reasons.
Yeah,
and the quarter goes through
they're
March,
not confirming
right? The end
anything.
of March.
They're just kind of teasing us. I don't know. I know that there's,
but the
they're
quarter
changing
goes
the
through March,
policy
right?
soon on
It
that.
finishes April 1. That's the next quarter. Okay, so we know that this Grievous Separatist stuff is pretty much all February's gig.
Right.
So I think that's a tease for what March is going to be.
It could be. Maybe it's just an HK-47 rework, because here's my speculation. Grievous is going to take Separatist droids to a whole other level, but then you have all these other poor souls. You have like all these other guys here. What if they somehow, kind of how like we have like 2 good bounty hunter factions that going on right now, or like, you got 2, 3 Sith teams. Maybe they're going to have Grievous take his half with him, and then HK-47 take his half of the other droids with him, like T3 and 4. I don't know if T3 and 4 is going to have a picture of Grievous, but maybe he'll have a picture somewhere with HK-47 somewhere down the line, which kind of makes some sense right there. I know they had some interaction in Knights of the Old Republic, and then take some other mishmash of droids like IG-86. Who knows? That's what I'm wondering where they're heading right now, because BB-8, R2, C-3PO, they have homes.
They love the faction synergy as much as possible. And specifically era synergy, I think they want to maximize as much as possible. Yeah. Something else that's notable, I think, is that who does HK-47 call a meatbag?
It's not Revan, was it? It was someone else, right?
Jedi.
Jedi, yeah. So...
And so here's I don't want to make you sad by making this taking this train of thought, but if
I think I know where you're going.
If that is a call to HK-47 getting back at the Jedi, that to me means whatever HK-47's involved with is going to counter the Jedi. Now, if Grievous is reworked...
Oh, correction. People are saying he called humans meatbags. All humans, not just Jedi.
Okay, all humans. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
people are doing it. Trust me, people are quick to correct your Knights of the Old Republic commentary.
Dude, don't even try.
Apparently he called Malik a meatbag too.
Okay, so, well, my impression was always Jedi. But anyway, if he's countering Jedi and the Separatists have already done that, then why would he need to?
Right.
Counter the Jedi.
I'm looking forward to this year. Whatever the case may be, man, it's just been a journey, 3 years almost, because Grievous came out like in spring of 2016 or something like that. Man, and he wasn't even good. They won. The reason why, I mean, I think it's okay.
Hardest farm ever.
Hardest farm. I did it the long grind way. I wasted 6-7 months of shard shop farming because you couldn't get them in the fleet shipments like you can now. And I remember the reason why they didn't want to make Grievous so powerful back then is because they were so worried that technically he was the most pay-to-play character at one point. They were, because at that time when he came out, there weren't a lot of people with 7-star rosters. And you needed to get huge loads of 7-star characters to get extra shards, and the cost to get him was so high. Their concern making Grievous so powerful back then was that if they make this character so powerful, it might tick off so many people because this wasn't an accessible character by any means. Free-to-play took 6 months to get the 7 stars, and still took like 3 months to get it to unlock. So now we're way past where he's not that hard to farm anymore. He's not the easiest. You still have to wait for the randomness of fleet arena to the fleet shipments to show up.
It doesn't take much anymore. Yeah.
No. So I mean, I was always hoping, the reason why I farmed this character is like, all right, no one's gonna spend 6 months wasting their shard currency from arena and Galactic War. I held myself back.
I'm gonna be ahead.
I'm gonna be ahead. And then once when ships came around, I was down at Capital Games seeing the ships release. I'm like, no. Is this really final? You guys are making Grievous this easily farmable? I was so sad and crushed. It was a waste of time, but it's just cool that we're here.
That is probably the character that was the highest paywall with the least amount of benefit ever.
Right. It was indirect paywall. But luckily he sucked, where you didn't have to worry about farming and gearing him up and all that.
But you know, there were a lot of whales out there were like, I need the 7-star Grievous now.
A lot of them,
and they got a lot of payoff.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah. I know Ramona Zob. He was one of the people like wailed out on Grievous way back when. And when droids were kind of the meta, so he made some use out of them with the HK-47 lead, but by no means was he like dominant. It was just more like droids were good right now. Grievous just kind of found a little home there, but you could have found way better things to plug in there. So I'm really looking forward to this year. It's cool to see that almost 3 years later, Grievous is finally getting a rework. Hopefully really powerful. Hopefully something usable. The developers have done a great job making new characters interesting and some everlasting impact on the game. And I think going forward into the future, I see a lot of comments about this, and I actually would not be mad. Let's say best case scenario, Grievous does become meta for 4 or 5 months or something. I would be so happy if the counter to the General Grievous was like a new Kenobi or General Kenobi rework and some actually like real Jedi reworks for Mace Windu, Anakin, Skywalker. Oh, my heart would melt. I would not be mad. Now, if Malik or Revan took over the Grievous meta, I'd be ticked. But if it was these Jedi, I'd be like, all right, makes sense.
Yeah, see, I mean, I got really sick of Sith in general. And so while I think that this is what's going to happen, I do think we're going to get a Darth Revan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be stoked about that. You know, I've got the shards farm because I want to have what's best in the game, you know? And so if Darth Revan comes, he'll be the best in the game. He will.
Yeah. They're going to make
I don't think anyone's going to doubt that. But man, if we got a brand new episode 3 Kenobi.
when we know for sure at that point that Darkseid Anakin's coming. Then we know for sure Darkseid and just the chain links. I know we definitely love prequels more than probably some others out there, but you can see the chain link connection. If episode 3 Kenobi came out, we would get Darkseid Anakin eventually. We need Padme still somewhere. And then I see a lot of people talking about this in the comments. A clone rework. That makes sense. Separatists rise, and later on they rework clones because clones versus oh my god, I would die to see us. I've always said I want to see a Separatist versus clone meta. We haven't seen that yet.
I felt the spirit of RNGesus move through me when you said that.
I feel it too, man. It connects us all. So I'm looking forward to this year.
The Midichlorians.
The Midichlorians. I don't know what Lucas was going with that. But,
by the way, you threw shade on me, implying that I don't like prequels on Twitter while I was gone.
I was Joe. You know I pull your leg so much, man.
You're like, what's up with that? I love the prequels. I spend like all my day on prequel memes.
Yeah, we're almost the same age. We grew up with that. Yeah, we're almost the same age.
I mean, now I will acknowledge all day dialogue is absolutely atrocious in the prequels, but that doesn't mean that I don't love them.
Yeah, always DTF says, tell Cub, the Sith shall rule eternal. Does that mean anything for you or no?
Well, it just means that somebody wants to believe a lie.
Yeah,
because the Jedi always end up winning.
Oh, Jedi Council tag and rework. Yeah, so this might be one of my favorite years. We're starting this year off strong. Of Separatists, man, if clones get love, the prequel Jedi get love, it's going to be an exciting year, I think.
Hey,
I think...
A Jedi Council tag would actually be really cool because one thing I think about, I think about with Jedi is, say we rework some other Jedi, right? How do you do that without not just bringing back like Revan and Jolie, etc.? But if you excluded that synergy, say you rework Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, and you've already got Yoda, you give those guys the Jedi Council tag, maybe being I mean, dude, that could be sick.
You know, I was laughing to myself. I could see that Jedi Council tag happening, but guess who wouldn't get it? Anakin, right?
Oh yes. And here's how you monetize this. Okay, Capital Games, watch the stream. I know Crumb's in here almost every time. Eric, if you're in here, Harry. God forbid if you're in here. Here's the way you monetize this. Let me because I want this.
Here comes the selling point. Here we go, Cubs. Lay down.
I'm gonna sell you on this. So you monetize this by bringing in the new marquee characters, Kai Ademundi, and who's the other one on the council we don't have? Somebody else on the council.
Shakti's on the council, wasn't she, and stuff like that?
Shakti.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I think she is.
She's on the council. Yeah. Let me pull it up while you're talking, or you keep doing your thing.
I'm pretty sure she is. So bring like 2 or 3 characters, and then require them to be needed to unlock the legendary Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then give them the Jedi Council tag. And then that can be the meta.
There we go. I have the whole list of the Jedi Council officially from Star Wars. Yours truly. So
yeah.
Oh man, that's actually
Shakti was. Dude, we don't need Google. We got the comments.
Yeah, we got the comments. Yeah, but in case people are curious, let me switch over to the screen right here. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Is Anakin on the council?
Yes, and I love that. Anakin would be the only one not on the council. So here we go. This is the original. Oops.
Well, technically, Anakin was on the council, but he wasn't granted.
He wasn't granted the rank.
So if we want to do that, then we have to have both tags and give Anakin the council tag, but not the master tag. And you have to have both the council tag and the master tag to take benefit of the synergy.
Yeah, we have Evan Peel, all these other weird dudes, Plo Koon, Kai Ademundi. Then when you scroll down more, it looks like it got bigger. We had all these other guys in here: Kit Fisto, then Obi-Wan.
Oh,
Shakti.
Yaddle, yeah. I forget
Yeah,
about Yaddle.
and then does it go any further than that? And then the end of the Clone Wars. So that was the Jedi Council right there. So interesting. I could see. They have Anakin Skywalker in this. I guess he was in the Jedi Council. He just wasn't granted the rank of Master.
He was in the Council, but he wasn't granted the rank of Master. Okay, everyone in the chat, tell our friends at Capital Games who's going to pay for that.
Yeah, right?
Raise your hand. I will pay.
I'm not anything prequels related. I love it. Grievous is just one of the things I love the most in the prequels. But almost anything prequels, I can adore.
But you know, we got to be careful what we wish for, because last time we made a big deal about a genre we wanted, we got everything from that genre.
I don't know. I know there's people that don't get sick of Knights of the Old Republic. I'm one of those that eventually get sick of it. I know there's I don't think I'd ever get tired of prequels, but I know there's plenty of people that would get sick of prequels after a while being added to the game. There's so many loyalties in this community. People who love the sequels, people who love the original trilogy, people who love the prequels, the Phoenix, even people who love the Resistance show, like Die Hard and whatnot. So there's a lot of different aligning
what we need
interests out there.
We need Thanos to come in and bring balance.
Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, so I actually have one more quick thing before we wrap up the show. I kind of want to revise my opinion, but before I revise my opinion, I want to show you a
opinion
Okay. Yeah, because we got to see the Emperor's command shuttle. First of all, what are your impressions of the kit, and then we'll kind of move on beyond that.
So I have my relationship with ships is like a toxic boyfriend and girlfriend where we keep breaking up, but then we get back together because the crystals are nice. Yeah. And then we break up again. So right now we've had a rough breakup recently, and I haven't.
I'm sorry about that.
I haven't paid. Well, I'm so aggravated right now. I'm just so aggravated by the pull to farm Scarif Rebel Pathfinder and Biston. I just don't want. I just do not. Gosh. I do not want to farm those guys.
My Rebels fleet's horrible.
I do not want to do it.
Look, I'm this is again not the best advice. Don't take my advice all the time. I mean, I do things because I have either a hate towards it or just want to do other things. My Akbar ship's not even abilities aren't even leveled up. I'm saving my abilities in case Grievous gets his level.
I've got them maxed, yeah.
But then the other ships too, man. You agreed when we talked. Almost everyone in the game changers or content creators agree ships is the least viewed content out of everything out there right now. It's like people
it's not close.
It's not close. Yeah, maybe a third, a quarter.
It's like covering. You'd probably get more views covering a My Little Pony mobile phone.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah, right. so you have a love-hate relationship with ships right now. I feel now with Emperor Palpatine. I gotta say, man, I don't know why he's a ship. Like, he should be a command ship or a capital ship or something like that. I don't quite see Palpatine being in the middle of a fight in a ship. You know, he's kind of a bit above that in my opinion. So that right there kind of irked me a bit. I was hoping more for a capital ship of some sort.
The command shuttle is like a, the Disney Express going back and forth between the airport and the parks. It's like,
that's all it really was, right? It's just a transportation device for Palpatine to get from whoever he's got a roast next on the list. So
I'm not too interested in this ship. I mean, it looks like it's okay, but I don't think I'm even gonna unlock it.
Yeah. So
am I trying to unlock it?
No.
Nah.
I'm farming
the shards.
Yeah,
but I'm not. I don't want to spend crystal refreshes.
Command shuttles to Uber
on
Black.
It. I do. Yeah, the Uber Black. That's
a great comment.
Expensive, but it still just gets you there. But I mean, I don't. Right now, I want all my crystals going towards the Old Republic characters.
Yeah. And so this is where I got to revise my opinion a bit. Well, actually, before I revise it, what's your opinion of how to unlock this ship? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I think there's a couple perspectives, and now that we're at the last day of farming the Palpatine shuttle, I have some opinions I want to revise. But what's your opinion on this dude?
I don't know yet. I feel like what I do like is it's new. It's a new way to do it. I like that they're trying something new.
People are saying they like it too, yeah.
It's annoying to just have marquee characters. Like, we can't just do it's not sustainable. There's got to be new ways to unlock characters. And so I like that. I don't feel like I have a strong enough opinion yet to make a full call on this, to be honest. But so I'd say I feel positively towards it, but I don't know if I love it really either.
Yeah. So here's my revised opinion.
Not a strong opinion. Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, I gotta agree with Brian. Putman. He did a little super chat for $2. Death Style raid would help ships. I think they would. The ships right now is just, besides farming and gearing characters, you don't really want to gear and all that stuff. The other problem is that there's nothing really to do with ships. Like, oh, man, I need a 7-star ship to do the last territory battle. Ooh, man, I'm shaking. It's like, who cares about that? I'll be fine if Millennium Falcon at 5 stars.
Right.
Yeah, so I think a raid would help out a lot because it gives you a reason to have a 7-star ship, and it might bring some more fun. Once you start tying more crystals, gear, and currency to ships, it becomes a bit more incentivized. But here's my revised opinion on this rollout. At first, I was like, this is kind of cool. You know, you're farming, like right now in ships, I'm farming my Anakin Starfighter. I'm also farming my Lando's Millennium Falcon. I just finished up Nest. It's like, this is awesome. I'm farming stuff I'm already wanting to farm, and I'm getting another ship along with it at the same time. And I'm getting gear, currency, other ability materials. I was like, this is kind of cool. But let me just, you probably know the answer. What's the difference between the Emperor's Command Shuttle and the B1 Battle Droid coming up? What's the main difference?
The B1 Battle Droid is a character.
The difference is that the B1, you're going to get the character after the event is
automatically.
Over. Automatically. You'll get a 3-star character. This Command Shuttle, you have to kind of, it looks like you got to go a bit beyond the normal crystal refreshes to get this ship. So it requires some spending, not spending money, but spending your crystal reserve to get the ship. And I think that's where I might not like this method as much, because if this is a marquee, I have the ship unlocked and I can actually use it.
It's a bit more of a choose though, right?
It is,
because
for sure.
Say Droideka comes out this way,
yeah.
Okay? So you get Droideka, and the only way for you to take Droideka in the current marquee model past 3 stars is to spend money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what if that is this way, and you can go, you know what? It's realistic for me to take this guy to 4, 5, 6 stars with the crystal store that I've got right now because of these refreshes. And so I think that's positive.
That is,
I think personally, because it lets you choose a bit more, and maybe you don't just automatically unlock everything for doing nothing. And to be honest, one thing, I mean, the marquee model, I like the marquee model, but one thing that I do think is a bit interesting about it is you always get something for nothing. Always.
Yes.
Like I don't want half the marquee characters I have.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, it's just nice to have them because some of them do have that 3-star viability. Like Ness was still good at 3 stars and whatnot. So the perspective I was looking at this before is that if I'm gonna buy a character or a ship, this is actually a little cheaper than going full marquee pack, and on top of that, you're getting other stuff with it. So it looked like it was a pretty good deal in that regard if you do want to get the ship all the way to 7 stars. But if you're someone that doesn't really want to spend, the one downside is, unlike a marquee, you're not going to unlock this right away. And there's definitely some arguments with that, whether it's a good thing or bad thing. I've liked the system less that they have with this. So I don't know how they're going to do it.
Here's what I would say. The bottom line is, I'm glad to see that Capital Games is acknowledging that we can't just do marquees.
Yeah. And
I'm glad they're trying something new, and I hope they continue to innovate this, because I think there's got to be better ways to release characters, and I hope they figure it out.
They'll figure it out. They're pretty smart when it comes to finding a way to make money, and then also ways to make things creative to unlock and stuff. I'm sure they're experimenting. It's cool to see it. I don't know if I'm 100% on board after, because now it's the last day, and like, who knows when this ship will come back? How are we gonna get the ship again? Is it gonna be every month you can farm it? Every 6 months? So yeah, I mean, what if all of a sudden ships become so important? We get a raid next week, and it's like, oh crap, Palpatine shuttle would have been nice here, you know? So that's like the only downside. We don't know how this galactic chase event's gonna work, but I just kind of wanted to revise my opinion a little bit. Other than that, we're just a smidge over the hour mark. Do you have any last thoughts before we take off, Cubs? You know, the next time we meet, the Jedi could be falling, Grievous could be reigning supreme. It's gonna be a whole brave new world 2 weeks from now. What do you want to say about that before we get off here?
So what I'm going to say is, I know what it's like to want something for a long time and have it finally come. I hope you're not disappointed. I hope that you enjoy it. I know it's been exciting for you and all your cronies.
My cronies.
So, your patience.
Order 66 in 2 weeks. Ooh, that's fun to think about.
So I hope that it's fun, and if the Jedi meta falls because of it, then I'll nod to you and say touche.
Touche. I think the Jedi will come back. If the Jedi do fall, I think prequels Jedi will have a return. They'll fight back at Grievous. So it's going to be a fun year, I think. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We love hanging out with you guys, and I think 2 weeks we have a lot more to talk about. A lot of new stuff. Magna Guard, Grievous Rework, Droideka, the state of the meta. It's probably going to be different by then, so we'll find out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Check out Cubs' latest video today where he gives more opinions on everything that happened, and beyond that, I think that's it. Peace, guys. We love you.
Have a good one, guys.